What's going on YouTube? Chronos here and welcome back to another PSO2 video. So we're back again with another progression video. I say progression, more like weapons progression. But episode 5 is here. Unfortunately, we're currently down for maintenance, emergency maintenance to fix the debacle that's going on with the shop, both on global and on JP. However, here I take this time to go ahead and go over some stuff since I've been getting some questions about what weapon should you be going for, so on and so forth, since we got a lot of really cool surprises when we logged into the servers on yesterday morning. So let's get started. So a few things to note. It does look like they've updated some information on the wiki. So you can see all the weapons we have. Actually, I think this is the JP one. Yes. So we actually want to go over to NA. So before I jump into that really quick here, just if you're new to these videos, normally I go over this stuff on the wiki specifically, so that way you guys can go through this on your own in the future, in case you're ever showing a friend how to figure this sort of stuff out, or if I haven't come up with a video, or for so long, or I happen to maybe stop making videos for any sort of reason, you guys are able to follow along yourselves, figure these things out on your own, and update and look at this information yourself. Of course, I will toss a link in the video description to get to the wiki itself and show you guys where I get to show up this, to pull up this information. Either way, let's get started. So, like always, we're on the wiki itself. We're going to pop over to weapons. And you can, of course, go over to your category itself for what you use. Usually in these videos, we go over sword. Even though I am technically a Soaring Blades main when I play Bouncer, we usually go over sword because it's one of the most basic weapons that they have. And plus, Hero just came out, and a lot of people like playing sword, so we'll go with that. But for this, I'm actually going to go to the JP wiki. Now, I took the time to compare all the actual damage numbers, everything. All of the weapons we're going to be looking at today are exactly the same as the... Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. They're exactly the same as the global counterpart to their weapons. So no worries, everything should be the same. You don't have to worry about it. There are a few differences in names, but it'll be fairly easy for you to see. So when we logged in, we saw some updates to a few shops, primarily the... What is it called? I'm losing the name of it. The Unique Weapon Badge shop, and we also got a Rising Weapon Badge 4. It looks like we're just getting multiple Rising Weapon Badges. That's what they've decided to go with. So we got a Rising Weapon Badge 4 shop. In the Rising Weapon Badge 4 shop, we have weapons called Judas weapons. We also have available to us in the Rising Weapon, or in the Unique Weapon Badge shop, now have access to the Nemesis, Raven, and also the Invade series weapons. So remember back a while ago when I said, hey guys, don't buy Nemesis/Raven weapons if you don't already have them? Well, I guess I was right. So hate to say it, but PSO2 does tend to fall into a pattern. So unfortunately, you guys that did purchase these weapons are trying to sell them if the shops didn't work, and now those prices are going to plummet pretty hard. So I apologize, but them's how it goes sometimes. So let's get into what we need. So let's say you log in, you don't have a weapon yet, you're just getting into your 13 stars, you're thinking to yourself, what can I pick up to use? If you're still sitting on a Nemesis/Raven weapon, there's no reason for you to rush into an upgrade. Just gather what you need for making your 14 star, and then when you make it, you can go ahead and use it. One of the first things you'll be able to pick up fairly easily is a Judas weapon. Now, the Judas weapon is only going to require, I believe it's 50 Rising Weapon Badge 4s, and they give you 100, I believe, for reaching, I think, 2 classes at level 75, like doing the hero unlock or whatever it is. So you get them fairly easily. Someone, of course, in the video description or not the video description, in the comment section can correct me for that, but I just had them right when I logged in. They were mostly just free. It was fairly easy to get, but you get them fairly easy, and if you don't have them from then, you, of course, doing the mission badge or the mission pass is going to give you more badges. Sorry guys, my voice is kind of like not cooperating with me today. I've been talking a lot over the course of the day, and then yesterday, and then of course the stream this evening, so I'll do my best to keep along with, but bear with me. So Judas weapons are pretty solid. It's not a bad option to go ahead and pick up if you have basically nothing, no Nemesis, no Raven. If you were just chilling with a Fornus weapon, even if you're just chilling with a Fornus weapon, technically you can still hang out with that. But this would be an upgrade, and it's going to be a usable upgrade, meaning like even investing in this weapon, you're not really going to miss out. Now, the catch with purchasing these weapons from the Unique Weapon Badge shop is that they are only plus 30, meaning that you will need a total of 6 of them, 1 base and 5 to upgrade to plus 35. to be able to get the plus 35 version to then turn it into the next stage of the weapon itself. Now, turn into the next stage of the weapon itself, you're going to need other weapons as well. You will need a golem weapon, or what they're calling, these are the demon enemy weapons, but they call them on global, I believe, what were they called? There was something I really didn't like. Supernatural enemies is what they're calling them. So supernaturals are the enemies that that are going to drop these weapons. They're different for every weapon type. We have like the salamander weapons for the soaring blades, and the golem weapons for some of the hunter weapons. I think the golem weapons are also the wired lance. So I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but you'll be able to see that fairly easily if you walk over to Zig and choose his option to upgrade weapons. Like he has like a weapon get of different categories, so you can check those out there. So you'll need your Judas, of course. You'll have that. You'll also need a golem weapon. You'll need a Chevelle weapon. And to get a Chevelle weapon, you technically need to get what's called, well, I guess here it's called an Eldeva, but it's actually on the global servers. It starts with an I think it's like Ildeva or something like that. It's fairly close. Yeah, Ildeva. So you'll need this Ildeva, and you'll have to upgrade it using boosters. So you need these LES boosters. You get them from doing Buster quests. That's kind of neat. Not that difficult to get a hold of them. You only need 60 plus the weapon itself to then upgrade it. Now, here's the catch here as well. You can get these weapons from a collection file, actually, that's available currently on global, but you only get them at plus 30. So again, you need multiple. You'll be grinding this collection file pretty hardcore. Nice thing is it's fairly easy. It's only one item you need. It's a Nox weapon, so if it drops, you auto-complete it. But it grinds up fairly fast. So do your Buster quest, make sure you pick up your collection folders. And the nice thing about it too is these weapons are also in the collection folder, in the same situation as the Eldeva weapons. So you can pick up both of these and then just go grind your Buster quests. And every time you complete them, go ahead and swap it out for another. Now, one thing you'll probably find out is as you're going to do Buster quests, you're going to complete these fairly fast. So you can make a few of these weapons. Now, on global, I'm not sure because we haven't had the shops, but on JP, these were sellable. So you could hold on to a couple of them to try to sell on the market. You could also break them down for their components because those components are used to make a 15-star later. So you can technically take them, break them down for the components and hoard those components or sell those components later because people are going to probably try to buy them, not realizing where they come from unless they watch this video. Then I'm sorry, marketers, I've messed it up for you. Either way, you have that as an option for you as well. So you don't have to consistently try to get the same weapon just to get it taken care of quickly. You're going to be farming tons of Buster quests. There's plenty of time to get this stuff. We by default won't be able to get any Atlas weapons more than likely for 3 weeks, I believe. Actually, no, not even until next week. We've got about a week before we get any dragon, meaning no Atlas weapons till at least next week. I was thinking of my original prediction, sorry when I said 3 weeks, but we've got all week to farm these. So you got plenty of time. Just get in there, grind away, have a good time. It's pretty easy for leveling too. A lot of people are going to be doing this right now, so if you need to level classes, it's really nice for that too, because they do like a normalization scaling sort of thing. But yeah, so you got that going for you. Get your Ildeva, excuse me. Get your I'm going to call them monster weapons because I keep forgetting their names, the supernatural weapons, and get them upgraded. Now, kind of the nice thing about this is this weapon is fairly strong, and you need this as part of the series to upgrade into the Lumiere weapon. So we've got Judas. Let's go ahead and go through this, right? So let's say we picked up our monster weapon or our supernatural weapon. We've made our Ildeva. We've upgraded it into a Celius Hunter weapon. I'm sorry, the Celius weapon, and then into the Chevelle weapon. So now we've got a Chevelle, and we've got our Golem weapon, and we've got our Judas weapon. We've been using Judas because Judas was able to get to us fairly easily. We got that fairly quick, so we only worried about, actually using that. Now, keep in mind, you're going to need this at plus 35, so you'll have to upgrade it to plus 35, which will be easier to do when the market's open again. And you'll need your Chevelle weapon at plus 35 as well, which isn't a big deal because you have to get this weapon to plus 35, and when you upgrade it, it's going to stay plus 35, and then you upgrade it again, it's going to still stay plus 35, so that's kind of nice. So you've got all 3 of these weapons now. So where do we go from here? Well, technically, all 3 of these weapons put together gives you a 14-star, the Lumiere weapon. So it's your first 14-star weapon that you'll have access to. Now, it's a fairly good weapon. Is it going to be your best 14-star from the get-go? Actually, no. It'll be useful. It'll be strong. However, there is another 14-star we will have access to in about a week. And we're going to talk about that as well. So why do we bother making this? Well, technically, this is 1/2 of 2 weapons you need to make your 15-star later. So making this now while we have something to do, while people are leveling, while we're just waiting for the next EQ to pop up, and this is something that's consistently farmable, right? So you don't have to worry about RNG drops. Now, granted, if you happen to RNG one of these weapons, then you luck out, right? So if, say, you get, you want to work on sword, you get the golden bluff sword. Well, that's one less weapon you have to worry about in your collection file. You can break down the other ones, or you can save them, set them aside, and try to sell them. However it works out. But these are probably going to be fairly common because a lot of people are going to be grinding this right now. So you get all this stuff together, you get your Lumiere weapon, get that taken care of, and then we get Dragon. Dragon comes out, and then another series of weapons pop up. The Val series. You see these weapons, I mean, like, it's a broken sword, right? Very obvious is going to upgrade into something. So we have our Val weapons. The cool thing about Val weapons are they're substantially easier to upgrade into their 14-star variants. All you have to do is get one of the upgrade stones. Now, currently, the way to get the upgrade stones that are in the game that they show are either getting 600 titles, will give you one of the upgrade stones, or completing the mission pass up to level 30. You will get an upgrade stone then. In the past, over on the Japanese servers, we also got a stone for upgrading the Val weapon to plus 35, would give you a title, which would give you a stone as well. It's possible that we keep all of those. Funny enough, I mentioned this in a previous video about titles being not as difficult as they are on JP. Currently on JP, it's 1,200 titles to get one of these stones because they have access to more titles. Notice how it's exactly half. It's 600 here. Since JP also had the title for plus 35, I'm assuming that when the Val weapons come out, we're probably going to get a title for that as well, giving us the upgrade stone to make this 14-star. And you say 14-star. Yep, it makes us the Atlas weapon. Now, this is going to be closest to your, more or less, I hesitate to say the weapon, I say the name is best in slot, quote unquote. It's going to be around closest to what you're looking for, right? So this is going to be your overall goal of the early portion of episode 5. Be going for one of these weapons if you don't already happen to have a 14-star weapon that you actually lucked out with. When I say that, there are other 14-star weapons that are currently dropping. They're unique weapons. Things like let's see, let's get an example. Things like Elder Pain Omega and Demonia Saber. These actually have a chance of dropping. Funny enough, you can also get a 15-star currently in the game. Now, granted, this one I have not seen personally, so I can't speak to it. But apparently, Profound Darkness over level 71, which I believe he can be, actually. I'm not sure if the, yeah, he can be. I believe he's 75, at least, either 75 or 80. Now can drop the Austere, or I guess they're calling them Ophistia weapons. So, if you happen to get super crazy lucky, you can get a 15-star. But these weapons are here as well. They're fairly strong. So they're going to be stronger than their 14-star variants. You can even see the base damage is already above them. Not to mention they have individual potentials. I would recommend checking these, or checking out the wiki itself. Check out the JP wiki, you can see what might be available to you. But your grind weapon that you're trying to like work towards is going to be an Atlas weapon itself. Now, the next question comes up is, why would I grind towards an Atlas weapon if I could just RNG my way and skip all of that process? Well, some classes actually want these Atlas weapons for 2 reasons. One, they upgrade into a 15-star actually. You remember that 14-star we made earlier? The Lumiere? Well, we take a Lumiere, we add the Atlas, we get the Atlas Farter. So, I'm sorry, Atlas Farter EX. So with an Atlas and a Lumiere and 400 X cubes, we get a 15-star weapon that basically trumps the 2 14-stars in most cases. Now, it is a fairly strong weapon. It's going to be stronger than the Austere weapon, or I guess, I have to figure out this name now, the Ophistia weapon. It is the second of the 3 15-stars that were released when 15-stars came out. They actually all came out at the same time. The Ophistia weapon, the Atlas EX, as well as a Lightstream weapon. Lightstream being the strongest of the 3, but this was kind of the middle point. This was actually better for some classes depending upon what you had, specifically for the augment abilities. So the S-grade augments that we have available to us for these weapons actually make them fairly powerful. You have a slot for 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you're not sure how these work, they're basically specialized augments that work kind of similar to potentials, where they have special effects instead of just raw stats. Some of them do have raw stats, but mostly they have special effects, percentage-based damage bonuses that make them stronger than standard augments. And the real cool thing about them is they always transfer at 100%, even when you're upslotting. So if you have to happen to augment your weapon itself and you have like really good S-grade abilities, you don't have to worry about losing them. They're going to stay on your weapon moving forward. You can also swap them between weapons as well. So that's what makes these weapons fairly powerful, and it makes it a lot easier to make a good weapon in the first place. So I'd recommend researching your class, find out what weapon you really want to go towards, but these are the weapons that are available to us to work towards right now. And let me tell you, it kind of feels good to have some content to just be able to grind without having to think, man, if I don't have good RNG, I'm never going to get anything. Because as you're doing Buster quests, you're always working towards something. If not the drop, or if not the boosters that you need to make this stuff, you're working towards the possibility of getting one of these drops. You're working towards your collection folders as long as you pick those up. There, if you're doing your dailies and weeklies, you're getting your mission pass taken care of, which is giving you stones to be able to buy your Judas weapon, then make your Lumiere weapon, to then get your Atlas weapon taken care of next week, and then eventually make an Atlas Farter EX, which I'm starting to think we might be able to make as soon as it comes out. If they're making it this easy for us to be able to pick up these 2 weapons, this 15 stars right around the corner. So hopefully, that wasn't super concise. Unfortunately, it's a lot of information to take in. So I'd recommend, maybe if you have any questions, feel free to toss them in the comments. I'll do my absolute best to answer those for you guys. As always, a like on the video is much appreciated. It absolves half of your ad block guilt, and the other half is absolved by subscribing. Both are completely free and help me out a ton. You can always click on the bell icon if you want to be notified of videos when they pop up, as well as community posts that I make whenever I do talk about a video or anything else I happen to decide to talk about. You can always follow us over on Discord. You can always follow us over on Twitter, or join the Discord in case you want to get notifications on either of those places. That's where I do notify for all the streams that I do. And thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Peace out.